Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, today, December 22nd. Today is Zos Chanukah, Monday morning. We are in Malachim II Perek Beis. Okay, welcome back. I'm Shin and Monk. Welcome back. Welcome Ari back. Okay, and now let's go. Aftali's back. Okay, everyone's back. The island is back. Okay, so we just spoke. Perek Chavav, a quick Hazara. We just spoke about Menashe and Amoin. How they went ahead and they went ahead and Menashe for sure. He brought a Zara and as Nashim and as Yisrael, and then he went ahead and brought in the Zara in the actual Heichal of Hashem. And okay, the pasuk says, okay, the Ma'aseh end. It seems like Menashe might have done Teshuva, and then Amoin came in. So now we're up to Perek Beis about Yoshiyahu HaMelech. Very, very famous Perek. And let's get started. Ben Shmeina Shana Yoshiyahu Malchai. So Yoshiyahu was a little boy. He was 8 years old. If anyone remembers who was a little younger than him, it was Yoish, right? He was at 7 years old. So he's a little older, and he's 8 years old. And Shloshim Achas Shana Malch Yerushalayim. He ruled for 31 years in Yerushalayim. Hashem email it was Yedidah. Okay, and his mother was Yehuda. Yehudah Shalom. So his mother was Yehuda, and Bas Adaya Boskas. Okay, whatever. That's from that town. Anyways, and Chazal say, why did it say it in the mother's name? Because she was Tzaddik. She's the one. Okay. Now, Pasuk Bey, V'yaseh Yoshim ben Hashem, V'yelem Chol Derech David Aviv. So he was a good melech, and he followed like David Aviv, and he saw Yamin Usmal. He didn't go left to right. So just going back and forth, we have Yosim was the tzaddik, Achaz was a Rasha, Menashe was a Rasha, Amma was a Rasha, and now Yoshiyahu, and he is a tzaddik, not such a tzaddik. He's like David Aviv, who didn't go Yamin or small Tavad Desire. Okay, Pasuk Gimel. He b'shmayna es Yeshana the Melech Yoshiyahu. Now in the 18th year, why 18th year? So Mepharshim explained that the first 10 years he was a child, and he didn't really have too much authority. But now he's 18 years old. He was bigger, and he was able to do things. Now, in the 18th year of Melech Yoshiyahu, he sent Shalach HaMelech as Shafan ben Atzalyahu ben Meshulam HaSefer Beis Hashem Lames. He sent in Beis Hashem. This was just disregarding the age a second. It says it was the 18th year of Melech Yoshiyahu. So is it the 18th year of his age, or maybe the 18 years since he became Melech? So maybe he's already 26. But anyways, what happened? He sends a message. Shalach HaMelech ben Shafan, as Shafan ben Tzilyahu. He sends Shafan to the Beis Hashem Lemer. He says like this. He says, Alei el Chalkiyahu HaKohen Gadol. Go up and go to Chalkiyahu the Kohen Gadol. V'yatem es HaKesef hamuv Beis Hashem. He should gather all the kesef, all the silver of the Beis Hashem. Asher asfu Shemei Asaf, that the Shemei Asaf collected Beis Hashem. So he's saying is to go gather. It's a little hard to understand exactly what's going on here. Seems like there was money all around, and he's saying gather all the money and do some sort of construction. What happened? Because Menashe went ahead and destroyed Beis HaMikdash, and he brought the Zara. So now they're doing a big reconstruction, a big project to be able to reinstitute kind of the Beis HaMikdash. And Ammon also didn't do anything great. Now it's a little strange because if you want to live that Menashe at the end of his life went ahead and he did Teshuva, and according to Gemara, as the Gemara brings down, that he went ahead and he fixed everything up already. So it's a little strange to say that in 2 years there was so much destruction. Before we'll talk on it, maybe we'll get to it in a minute. Anyways, what he's saying is go gather all the silver from Beis Hashem. I guess get all the money together, and who's Shemei Asaf? So either Shemei Asaf or the Daklins is the treasurers, or maybe it's the people that watch the Kela. Maybe whatever. You go vitnu al yad oisem malacha amufkadim, and you should Beis Hashem. You should put like I got appointed different people to do different jobs. And you do oisem malacha, and you should give people Hashem Beis Hashem. In other words, he's saying is you should go ahead and give out different jobs to people to go ahead and to do this reconstruction project for the Beis HaMikdash, to do repairs. Now, the Charashim, the carpenters, the Labainim, or the Godrim, the Likdas, Eitzim Mechbaz, Machzev, The Chalikas bias. So basically, the carpenters, the builders, the cement people, the whatever it is, and to buy the wood, or the Avanim is the people that query at the stones, and basically it's a big repair project. And the site is like this: it says Ach lo yachshem itam, don't kesef nitna yadam kibamunay ma'asim. He's saying is when you give him the money to do the work, don't make them give a cheshbon every dollar and cent. Once you give someone the job, you have to hold. That's it. You give them the job, you have to trust them. It's just in business in general. If you don't trust your workers, you're doomed. Same idea. Delegate, and then you have to trust them. Manage. The best management is when you trust them. He's saying, yeah, you have to just. That's it. Okay. So what happens? You have to trust the system in life. So you hire people, they do their job. Once they do their job, you trust they do a good job, and that's it. If you start chintzing every penny, so then people are not going to do the job because they're afraid what you're going to ask, so they can't. Just let go. Okay. Exactly. Don't micromanage. Exactly. Business skills. Okay. So now, Yoshiyahu says, El Shafan HaSefer. He says, Sefer Torah, Metzasi, Beis Hashem. So now, as he's doing the repair projects, he goes up and he finds a Sefer Torah. And he finds a Sefer Torah Beis Hashem. So he gave over the Sefer Torah to Shafan and he read it, the Torah. And what did it say? So Rashi brings down, it was open to the Torah. It says, Hashem Hashem will lead you away and basically destroy Klal Yisrael. So that the Sefer Torah was open to the Torah. And when he read it, they got very nervous. So when it's seen that, what happened? So now, first of all, what's the Sefer Torah? So in the times of Achaz, which was earlier, Achaz went ahead and he was destroying the Sefer Torah. He was burning the Sefer Torah actually. So they hid the Torah. What's the Torah? The Torah Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, the end of the Sefer Torah, wrote a Torah, and that Torah was hidden because they didn't want Achaz to destroy it. And after Achaz, they looked around, they couldn't find it anymore. So now they're doing a big cleanup. They went and they found that hidden Torah. This is the Torah. That's one shot. Another shot is that Menashe later on he went ahead and he took any Torahs that were around and he put, instead of Hashem, they put a Zara into it. So this was a Torah that was cleaned up, a Torah that was like a pure Torah. In other words, it was unaffected, unadulterated, it wasn't touched. He found the same Torah. It's almost like today's the last day of Hanukkah. Same idea. They went to Beis HaMikdash, and what happens? They couldn't find any oil. They found one Pach Shemen. So they found the pure Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu, and it was hidden. They found it. They brought it open, and when they opened it up, they were all excited. They finally found the Torah. And what happens? It's the Torah. Okay, what happens? So let's see the next pasuk. Okay, pasuk. And he goes now to the Melech Yoshiyahu. The Melech Davar. And he reports back, he says, "Tichu avdecha es hakesef. I did my job. I melted the silver. The bias that was in Beis HaMikdash." He's basically giving the message slowly what happened. So he doesn't want to tell him. He go ahead and he found the Torah. First saying, "I did the job. It was good. Everything was fine." And they knew al yad oisem malacha. I paid everybody. Did the work. I'm good in Beis Hashem. And then if he tells him that, then he says, "Then Vayagei Chafam HaSefer LaMelech." He tells him, "Sefer Torah Nasa Li Chilki HaKoyin." Chilki gave me a Torah. He found it. V'Kareu Shafan LaMelech, and now Shafan is reading to the Melech. And now when he reads it, and he sees what happened. What does Yoshiyahu do? V'Yikras B'Gadav. He does Kriya. He realizes that the Klal Yisrael is in trouble. I saw a shot at this now. I just saw a shot that what happened. He tells him, I did the job, I fixed the Beis HaMikdash, I did all that, and then I found Sefer Torah, and it's open to Torah. He said it was like a musser. It's not about fixing the Beis HaMikdash. It's about fixing yourself. Interesting shot you saw. But anyways, fine. So now Yoshiyahu, he hears that it's open to Torah. He does Kriya. And what does he do? So he gathers together. He gets Chilki HaKoyin, Achikam and Shafan. Okay, there's Akbar ben Michaya, there's Shafan HaSefer, there's Asiyah Eved Melech Alema. And he goes, I see how the kid. Okay, so he makes a whole group of people, and he says, L'chuv dirshu es Hashem, let's ask Hashem ba'adi on our behalf, ba'ad ha'am and ba'ad ha'am, ba'ad kol Yehuda as divrei a sefer nimtzazah. In other words, yes, let's ask the Navi. What do we do now? We have Sefer Torah that's giving us a clear message. What do we do? And we know Yoshiyahu was a good Melech, but on the other hand, before him there were people that we had Menashe, we have Ammon, and there's been a lot of bad clauses. So what's the message now that we should do? So what happens? Sefer Torah says, Hamas Hashem Asher Nitzabanu I'll call I'll Asher Lo Shama V'Seinu. I'll do it. Sefer Torah Lases Chol Ksavaleinu. In other words, what should we do? We have Sefer Torah now. That's no. It says like this. Hashem is very angry at us. This that we Asher He Nitzabanu. This that we kindle against us. But Asher Lo Shama V'Seinu because we didn't listen. We didn't listen to Torah. Our forefathers didn't listen, and we're in trouble. Why does it have Avseinu? You know why? The Kliyaka says because he knew he's the tzaddik. It wasn't him. He knew it was a punishment for Avseinu of the fathers. Anyways, Pasuk Yudal. What does he do? So we have to go to the Navi to find out. They went Huldah Hanaviyah. Now why did they go to Yirmiyah? Who did they go to Huldah? Well, why not Yirmiyah? So Rashi brings out two shots. Rashi either Yirmiyah was busy at that time. What was he busy? He was trying to bring back the Asasha Shvatim. So Yirmiyah was not around. Okay, that's one shot. The first one Rashi says that why go to Huldah Hanaviyah? Because Isha Achmanas Yosmish. Isha has more achmanis than a man. Therefore, so the Pashup shot is that every Navi, when they say over a Nevuah, they always say it over through their lens. And that's why earlier we have in a story Navais, when they put the 100 Nevi'im, they said he knew it was Navi Sheker, because they knew it was Navi Abal, because they all said the same Nevuah. And you can't ever say the same Nevuah. Everyone says it over differently. So they wanted through a lady. Now, why through a lady? So Masha says because they thought maybe if a lady says over, she'll daven for more that's come out better than Yirmiyah. Because and the King Yoshiyahu brings down not this type, but it's the Sefer Yoshiyahu says that why a lady? Because a lady is ma'ira. If she says it should be ma'ira other women to go also to daven and nashon sakaniya, it's a tremendous thing. So that's why they went to Huldah Hanaviyah. Okay. So now they went to Huldah Hanaviyah. Esha Shulam Bet Tikva. She was the wife of Shalom. Who was Shalom Bet Tikva? If anyone remembers, they had earlier that Shalom Bet Tikva. No, Shalom Bet Tikva. Who was she? So we had earlier that Shalom Bet Tikva in the story of Elisha. Elisha did a lot of miracles, and the last miracle he did was after he died. He put his body in, and it touched this person. This person had Tchias HaMesim. Right. So that person was Shalom Bet Tikva. Anyways, so that person was the husband of Huldah Hanaviyah, and she was Shemar Begad. The Yeshiva Yerushalayim, the Mishnah. She was. So they went to Huldah Hanaviyah. Where was she? She was sitting in Yerushalayim. The Mishnah, Bidaber Elav. What does that mean? Rashi explains that in the Beis HaMikdash there's something called Shar Huldah. That's where she sat. Why she sat over there? Because she used to judge clients. So she these come to her questions, and it's not proper for a lady to go in the private room. So she was open, out to the open. She had a special place where she sat. It's similar to what we had earlier by Devarah. We said Devarah Pasuk said she was tachas her under the palm tree, right? Right. And we had earlier the reason was also because she was right, because she used to judge clients, and they didn't want to put her in a room, so they left her in the open. So that's why they had to. Anyway, so they went over there to Shar Huldah, and they went ahead and they asked her, they asked her what to do, and that's what she said. By the time I left, she tells them, she says, Hashem. Okay, Yisrael, Imru Leish Itchem Lema. Tell this person who sent you this question, this is what you should say. This is the famous Gemara Megillah. It says that even though her name was Huldah, a weasel, and even though the Devarah was a bee, which is not the right, which was in order to humble them, and still the Gemara said that they spoke not properly because Imru Leish Shalach Itchem Elai. Tell the person. Yeah, it's not the right. You have to look at the Gemara. But anyways, it wasn't the proper way to reference Yoshiyahu HaMelech. So she says, Kayam Hashem, Hine Mevi Ra, Makim Hazeh, Akash Baruch Hu saying, I'm going to bring bad to this place. Yoshiyahu and the people who inhabit the place. In other words, the people of Yerushalayim and the people of Yehuda. But I'll call Divrei Sefer. Ashakaro Malach Yehuda. And I bring Ra Malachim Yoshiyahu. But it's called Divrei Sefer. Ashakaro Malach Yehuda. Okay, and all the words that says, I guess, that you read from the Sefer Torah. Now, why is Hashem doing this for? Hashem do it. You forsake me. And because Klal Yisrael they burnt Leman. And why do you do it for? Leman, and you did it in order to make me angry. That's what you did it for. And what? And you kindled my wrath against it in this place. So you find me out exactly. And therefore it's not going to be distinguished by anger. Hashem is saying, Yehuda, and again, this is based on the Gemara Megillah also. And the Melech Yehuda that you sent, regarding Yoshiyahu, I have a special nevuah about him. It should have said Yoshiyahu Melech. It says, Kai Simon Love, tell him. Hashem says, that what? Yan Rach Lavacha, since Yeshua, we know, we said before, Yoshiyahu Melech, what did he do? He ripped his clothing when he heard it was open the teicha. He was machni himself. So it says Yan Rach Lavacha, since you made yourself soft for Tichlim for Hashem. B'shmacha Shed Dibarti, when you heard, you know that you got the message. Regarding the call of Atikah, the God of Vatachaba Lefonai, since you, Yeshua Melech, you ripped your clothing and you cried. Hashem said, I heard that too. I don't think I didn't see that. And therefore, Hashem is telling him, therefore, in other words, you'll be gathered in first. And you'll be gathered in the grave in peace. In other words, you'll die prior to all the bad. And your eyes won't see all the bad, the calamities that come. And then they brought the words back to Yeshua Melech. You're gonna die before him because you went ahead and you decree, you cried, and then you're gonna die. You're gonna be buried b'shalom, in peace. That's very interesting because Yeshua Melech, we know, didn't die in peace. Mamash didn't die in peace. They during the Milchama, he died in the Milchama, and they took the spears and they all pointed towards Yeshua Melech, and he dies. So we see from here, it's very interesting. They bring down that's called shalom. That's a lot more peaceful than Tzidchor Beis HaMikdash. See, even though he died a tremendous, painful death, but that's still called shalom. To see the Mesilas be destroyed is much worse. It's just interesting the concept of that people die early in order not to see the destruction. We know right before the Second World War, in 1 year, Chaim Meiser, Bachber, Chavetz Chaim, all died right before the war, and then the war came because sometimes Hashem doesn't want them to witness the calamities before. Yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the Perek here. And now tomorrow is Perek Chavdalid, the big Teshuva movement of Yoshiyahu Melech. All right. Tzachar Rabba. Have a nice day. Enjoy.